Friends, 'tis I, Marinara Man, here to talk to you about a game known as Teen Titans Calling All Titans. A Flash game that came out on Cartoon Network's premier website, cartoonnetwork.com. It's a very clever name. Now, back when I was a child and didn't have a lot of video games and the internet was fresh and new to me and to the world, this was an incredible discovery. Not only for me because it was a new game to play, but it was also my favorite TV show at the time, including some of my favorite characters at the time. Now, I wanted to talk about this game, the looming threat of Flash becoming obsolete after December 2020. Now, with Flash leaving, it makes a big hole in the internet's history. I wanted to be able to take a look at this game in its purest form using Flash. Now, I hope somebody with a lot more expertise in this topic than me already made sure this game is preserved for history.
Let's go!
This game is quite interesting because of the way it's built, the way it's made. Honestly, I think it makes it one of the most interesting Flash games of all time. Maybe the best Flash game of all time. Now, this game is not a long game like most Flash games. You can beat it. It's about an hour nowadays. When I was younger, that hour seemed to be a lifetime. Now the runtime actually feels a bit long for what the game offers to you. The game runs mostly on arrow keys, spacebar, and the X button. Arrow keys to walk your character around, the space button to attack and play the micro games and mini games available to you, and the X button is able to switch out your leading Titan. You get to choose what Titan you start with at the beginning of the game. The game seems to be leading towards you choosing Robin, so that's who I chose. However, as a kid, Beast Boy was the way all the way. If you didn't choose other than Beast Boy, what are you doing? He was clearly the best pick. After you choose your character, there are 5 locations that you can explore. Depending on which location you choose decides which reward you will be given. 4 of these places offer up a new Titan after defeating its area's final boss. The final area has 2 bosses, but there's no more Titans. You just beat the game, which is a reward in itself. Now, these 4 areas you explore felt very expansive back as a child. Even now, they're quite impressive for the type of game that this is. What they offer is quite expansive, and it actually includes some hidden secrets and reasons to return and explore some more after acquiring new Titans. One single playthrough of this game won't offer you everything. There's actually collectibles in this game, including Pizza's character-specific items, such as Game Boys for Beast Boy or mirrors for Raven. Items don't do too much, as opposed to just another thing to collect along your way. However, Pizzas, while seemingly useless, other than just a ticking total up to 900, actually provides health benefits after collecting 300. Now, this isn't the only way to get a health upgrade. You also get them by unlocking a new Titan and being able to use them as well in battle. Now, the combat in this game is nearly non-existent. The only time you attack in the game is to break boxes, and there's actually different types of boxes. You know, the more Titans you have, the bigger boxes you can break. And actually, you can't move forward in the last level until you have enough Titans to actually break the box presented to you. Turning the levels seems like a daunting task. However, these levels are so incredibly small in terms of game size nowadays that you could sprint through these levels if you know what you're doing in probably around a minute apiece. They're that small. The most of the meat of the game comes from attacking the henchmen, whether it being the area boss specific henchmen or the final boss Slade's henchmen. The only difference between the area specific boss's henchmen is those mini-games are not even mini-games, they're like micro-games, in that they require very few buttons and they are done within seconds. Now, Slade's henchmen don't serve much more in terms of gameplay. However, the mini-games still, while quite micro, offer a bit more gameplay. They then drop a video game cartridge that you can then use at a later date to actually replay any of your favorite mini games, which as a kid and even now I thought was quite impressive. The area takes up 4 spaces, so there's 5 areas, 4 levels apiece, so about 20 levels. Each 4th round of every section there is a boss. Whether some of these, the boss are just standing right as soon as you spawn there. Others are more interesting, like Mad Mod's area, you have to traverse a maze to get to him, which I found quite interesting, that it was quite fitting for the character. Each area is quite fitting for the boss. Getting to see these familiar, nostalgic villains again was quite fun for me, because it's been a long time since I've been able to revisit Teen Titans as a whole. These bosses each have their own minigame, which takes place as it's kind of a 2D action platformer minigame that are the biggest minigames available to you. Each playable character can be used in these areas with their own projectile and their own sprite in place, and that's not even the only location that there are character-specific sprites. In other minigames, there are character-specific sprites as well, which I think is a nice touch, a nice little attention to detail. But like I said, the game is incredibly short, and I didn't have many problems with any of the bosses at all. I think I died in this game maybe once or twice, mainly due to the insta-kill spikes that take place in the boss rush levels. Here I am in the last world, last floor. Slade's here. Honestly, the rest of these bosses haven't been too hard. I wonder how bad this one can be. Yeah. That's just kind of how this game works sometimes. It can kind of get away with that old style of platforming where spikes were one-hit deaths and they were prevalent all over the place, in addition to them just existing in the world and can kill you without you even being able to react to them. However, you can get back here relatively quickly. Slade is positioned close to the start of the level, unlike other ones, so it's really not too big of a problem to get back to him after he pulls something like this. And once you get past some of the nonsense spike sections, it's really not too bad. Also, did you see Beast Boy's projectile? He just throws rocks. He looks like potatoes. I like to think they're potatoes, but they're rocks. Because in other sprites, he's a gorilla throwing rocks, which makes more sense, but during the platforming sections, he's just Beast Boy. When it all comes down to it, I had a pretty good time coming back to this game. I had a pretty fun hour or so revisiting the nostalgia. And like I said, it'll be sad to see all these Flash games go. So I hope that this is one of the ones that is able to get backed up and remembered. And I really wanted to take a chance to take one last look at it in its current state before it disappears forever. So check it out when you still have the chance. It's got about a month left for the course of this video going up. So try to get to it if you can.
Sweet. Nice job, Titans.